I finished reading Newcomer by Keigo Higashino today, just now, 5 minutes ago. I was been reading his book. This is a fifth book. Consecutively, I read his book. And the last two books, Maris and the Newcomer, are a story of this detective Kaga, who is a professional police detective. And so that's put me in a little bit different attitude toward reading this, because certainly it's very different from the Galileo, who is a physicist. Detective Galileo is a physicist with the first three books. And yeah, I realized that I like the Galileo detective better than Kaga. So this Newcomer, the book, I think copyrighted 2001, and I think translation is a 2018 by Gilles Murray. And so this is more or less like a recent book in the US, for example. But I think people reading this, finding out Keigo Higashino as a crime mystery writer, I think that's a good thing. But anyway, so when I started to read, I thought this one is more or less like a traditional crime mystery story, that you don't know who committed the crime. Crime happens very beginning, and but there's no hint of who did this particular crime. There's a lots of lead speculations appeared in the beginning, or this person could be, but anyway, those small lead is not the real thing. So until toward the end, you don't know who committed the crime. And by doing so, this story goes into more personal life of the people who are living in that area. This area is, I think, in the Nihonbashi, Ningyocho area, which is, I think, Tokyo's older district near Ginza. I would say Nihonbashi is, a little bit away from Ginza. So it's very, very Tokyo life here, and dealing with also the streets where all the shops and stuff are pretty much like old craft type of things that traditional Japanese art is commercialized to sell, things like a top, or things like a toy, or the cup, or something like that, with bamboo made, or something like that. So it's about those area where you feel like most of the Japanese probably feel that particular place may be something that they are interested in, because of the traditional old Edo, Tokyo lifestyles and all these things, old values. But the story itself is also mixture of the life of people who are mostly good-natured, good-minded people. But some of the people, I really felt, my personally, that I don't like. They're somewhat like depending on somebody's fortune, or somebody's, I don't know, relationship with other people or something like that. It's almost like you are genuinely concerned about this person, but then again, one side is genuine, but the other side is kind of trying to get something out of this person, monetary reward or something like that. And that's kind of I don't know, that's a typical, the Japanese traditional the values, but certainly in this book it's everywhere there. At the same time, there's a genuinely, wholehearted, good people depicted in here too. And so, but reading this, again, just like a malice, I felt a little bit, not comfortable, not overall elated after reading this. More or less like I got into this private life I pry into, and felt that I got into too much of their private life, and I don't feel well. So that's the thing, that maybe some of the crime mystery go into somebody else's personal life so much, and you don't necessarily like to get into this other people's private life, I would say. Certainly today's environment where coronavirus was going on and everything, you want to become a little bit more distant from other people. But this is definitely before corona, and people go into the other people's life so easily, especially the police detective questions the personal thing of that suspect or whatever, and wow, that particular thing is not comfortable to witness, I would say, as a reader. Yeah, so that's my impression of this book. Although this book I would say I love better than Maris, but definitely less than first three books of Galileo detectives books. I think I felt this is more traditional way of approaching the crime mystery, and nothing new about there, and nothing refreshing, I would say. But nonetheless, the story is, I would say, you try to find out who killed this particular victims, but at the same time, you feel like the author is trying to say that it doesn't matter who killed. This is a life of these people who lives in that particular area, and they have this motivation, life which is very private mostly, and they have a difficulty in life. They have a joy sometimes, they have a love, but they have some scheming, idea of trying to get something out of somebody else. And those things are life. The crime doesn't, it's not that matter. Reading this, the crime itself is not that much of the big part of this particular story. It's about the lives of the people who lives around that area, and it has a lot of them there, and also sometimes sad, sometimes happy. Mostly people are living very hard to live their lives, and so I thought that was the book. and yeah, crime mystery solving. Although Detective Kaga tried to explain what it is, and who did it and how did it. That part is interesting, but it's not like you got drawn into, because there's lots of other stories in here. It's much more interesting, and so I thought it was kind of a side note that Higashino probably tried to get a little bit more outside the crime mystery genre, doing the crime mystery, but still trying to get more deeper meaning or something like that, I guess. So yeah, these two books are library books. I'm going to return, and I'm going to get more Higashino books because I reserved the two books, so I had to get that books, and then after that, yeah, I think maybe after that that could have been like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After 8 books, yeah, maybe I should stop reading Higashino's book for a while, because I got so much my time spent, and so I should get back to the regular life after that. But until then, I couldn't get off Higashino's. Okay, bye.